Welcome back to Celebrating Senior Shutterbugs and our interview with David Hume Kennerly. In the last segment, David spoke about his reasons for being in Vietnam, which were both professional and profound. In today's segment, David shares with us another story from his time in Vietnam, when he learned he had won the 1971 Pulitzer Prize for feature photography. David, what was winning the Pulitzer like? Had you been preparing yourself to win it, be let down, or anything like that?
The announcement was made that I won the Pulitzer Prize in journalism for feature photography. And what was bizarre about it, I didn't know I'd been entered. So this was probably the only non-anxiety Pulitzer ever, because most people enter it and they, wait for the announcement. I had no idea. I thought it was a joke. I mean, I thought somebody was playing a big prank on me. And so the guy who was the bureau chief for news sent back a query saying, is this some kind of joke? Did Kennerly win a Pulitzer Prize? And they came back and, and said yes. And well, so that also meant I had no idea what the photos were. I was told they were for my year's work of 1971. For the most part, that was Vietnam and Cambodia and India. And I looked in the box of the entry, and that's the first time I really knew. I knew a few of the pictures had been in, but I didn't know that the Ali Frazier picture of Ali getting knocked down in the 15th round of Madison Square Garden was one of the pictures. That was right before I left for Vietnam, the last assignment. It was on the front page of the New York Times the next day, which was my 24th birthday. And then the day after I won, 25 miles out of Saigon, there's a village, little provincial town surrounded by North Vietnamese. So we went up there and almost got killed. I mean, it was one of the biggest firefights I'd ever gotten in. And all I'm doing is these bullets are going over my head. And just thinking, like, how stupid am I? If I get killed, all my colleagues are going to think I'm a total idiot. Like the day after you win the Pulitzer Prize, you're back out there. It was a life changer to the degree that then it put me on the map. After that, I was asked by Life magazine to work for them. So that really did change the dynamic in my professional career. And it was at the end of that, of 72, that I went to Life and Time. I had a Time and Life contract. And then Life folded. Life folded like less than 2 months after I was on board. And David Burnett and I were the last two people to work for the magazine. And my last assignment for UPI was going to the People's Republic of China in September of 1972, which is really unique. It was after the Nixon trip earlier that year. It was just an incredible experience. But when I came out, I went to work for Life magazine. And so that was in October, November 1972.
It's amazing to me how one achievement can really change a career, and in your case, it sounds like it set you on a whole new path. I'm looking forward to hearing about where it led. In the next segment, David tells us about getting back into the world of political photography. As a young man, he had already photographed monumental figures such as Robert F. Kennedy, but reached his height in political photography later in his career, when he was the official White House photographer for President Gerald R. Ford. The segment that follows will cover what he's been up to today, with some advice for today's photographers as well. Thank you for joining us here at Celebrating Senior Shutterbugs.